You reach into your pocket change, pull out a shiny penny, and suddenly realize it could be worth $1.5 million. One single coin, hiding in plain sight, capable of turning an ordinary day into a life-changing moment. This isn't fiction. This is the story of the 1969 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has shocked collectors across the United States, and one that could be waiting in your own wallet or drawer. The 1969 penny wasn't special at first glance. Most of them were ordinary, spent in daily transactions, passed from hand to hand without a second thought. But a rare few carry a hidden secret, a flaw that makes them unbelievably valuable. These coins were struck during a tumultuous time at the Denver Mint. Errors in the minting process caused some pennies to be missing the mint mark entirely, a tiny detail, almost invisible to the untrained eye, yet worth millions to the right collector. Imagine a tiny factory mistake creating an instant treasure. That's exactly what happened in 1969. Somewhere along the production line, a handful of pennies were struck without the usual D for Denver. The result? A coin that looks ordinary, yet is one of the most coveted Lincoln pennies in existence. In top condition, these coins have sold at auction for jaw-dropping amounts, up to $1.5 million. A single piece of copper changing lives forever. But how do you know if the penny in your hand is the one that could make you rich? First, check the date. It must be 1969. Next, look for the mint mark, or rather, the absence of one. A normal 1969 penny from Denver will have a tiny D beneath the date. The no mint mark version will have nothing at all. That's the key. And it's subtle. Collectors often need magnification to confirm authenticity because the difference is smaller than a millimeter, yet it determines the difference between a few cents and a life-altering fortune. Now, let's talk condition. Even a rare coin loses value if it's heavily worn. The most valuable 1969 no-mint mark pennies are in pristine condition, coins with crisp details on Lincoln's bust and sharp edges around the rim. But here's the twist. Even slightly circulated versions can command thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Every penny is a potential treasure, waiting to be recognized. Stories of discovery are almost cinematic. One collector found a 1969 no-mint mark penny buried in a jar of coins that had been untouched for decades. Another stumbled upon it at a local flea market, thinking it was just another piece of copper. In each case, the coin transformed an ordinary life into a story of unimaginable wealth. People who never dreamed of becoming millionaires suddenly became part of an elite circle of collectors. But the thrill isn't just about the money. It's about uncovering history. Each penny tells a story of the mint in 1969, of eras that escaped notice, of a world where ordinary objects hold extraordinary secrets. Holding a 1969 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is like holding a tangible piece of mystery, a secret that survived decades, waiting for the right person to notice it. Attention, collectors, not all 1969 pennies without mint marks are valuable. Counterfeits exist, and subtle differences can make or break the coin's worth. Authentic coins have precise dimensions, consistent copper color, and a perfectly centered date. If you're serious about identifying a potential million-dollar penny, using a professional grader or coin expert is crucial. The difference between a genuine no-mint mark penny and a clever fake could mean the difference between a few dollars and over $1 million. Think about the odds. Out of millions of pennies minted in 1969, only a few carry this hidden secret. You could spend a lifetime checking jars of coins and never find one. Or it could be in your pocket, in a drawer, or tucked away in an old collection inherited from a relative. Every coin has a story, but a 1969 no-mint mark penny carries a story worth millions. Collectors describe the first time they see one as unforgettable. There's disbelief, excitement, and a surge of adrenaline. You're holding something that, for decades, has been quietly waiting, unassuming yet priceless. It's a treasure hidden in plain sight, a reminder that extraordinary luck can appear when you least expect it. And the best part? You don't need to travel the world or spend fortunes to search. Every pocket change, every dusty jar of coins in your home, could hold this secret. Every coin you pick up deserves a careful look, because one small detail, A missing mint mark could be the key to unlocking a life-changing fortune. So check your coins. Look closely at every 1969 penny. Focus on the mint mark area below the date. Magnify, compare, and if you see nothing, no marking at all, you may be staring at a coin that could sell for $1.5 million or more. The thrill of discovery, the joy of owning a piece of history, and the sheer shock of realizing the value in your hand, that's what makes this penny legendary. This is more than just a coin. It's a story of chance, history, and hidden fortune. It's proof that treasures can be found in the most ordinary places, that ordinary objects can carry extraordinary value, and that one small detail can change everything. Every collector dreams of this moment, finding a coin that could redefine their life. And for some lucky people, that moment has arrived, sometimes decades after the coin was first minted. But to a very few, it's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, a coin worth $1.6 million. One tiny piece of copper could change a life forever. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare that even seasoned collectors sometimes gasp when they see it. The story begins in 1990, a year like any other. The U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, each stamped carefully with Abraham Lincoln's image. Most of these pennies are ordinary, forgotten over time. But among them, some were struck with a subtle anomaly. A mistake, an oversight, something barely noticeable to the untrained eye. And that mistake? It's what transforms this common coin into a treasure worth millions. Collectors have long whispered about the 1990 no-mint mark penny. Unlike the Philadelphia coins that typically bear a P mark, these rare pennies carry no mint mark at all. To the casual observer, it seems normal. But experts know that this missing mint mark is a signal. It indicates a penny that escaped standard production protocols, a misprint that's now priceless. Now, think about this. A coin produced over 30 years ago, overlooked, maybe handled by a child, dropped on a sidewalk, or stored in a dusty coin album, quietly waiting to be discovered. That coin, that unassuming penny, could now be worth $1.6 million. Yes, one coin. One small, copper disc that could turn your life upside down if you're the lucky person to find it. So how do you spot it? The first thing is the date, 1990. Next, look closely at the area beneath Lincoln's portrait. There should be a mint mark, D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, but these rare pennies have none. 0. A blank space where a mint mark should be. That blankness is the secret. It's subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention, but it's the very thing that makes the coin worth a fortune. But the intrigue doesn't end there. The condition of the coin matters immensely. A worn penny, bent or scratched, won't fetch the same price. Collectors seek coins with sharp details, crisp edges, and a pristine surface. When one of these no-mint mark pennies appears in near-perfect condition, the auctions explode. Bidding wars ignite. People from around the world compete, all desperate to own a piece of history worth millions. Imagine being the person who first recognizes it. Holding it in your hand, knowing that a simple penny, something most people throw in a jar for spare change, could suddenly represent financial freedom beyond your wildest dreams. Many collectors describe it as a rush, a mix of disbelief, excitement, and almost a spiritual connection to history itself. And here's the part that will make your heart race. These pennies are hiding in plain sight. They're in old coin collections, piggy banks, drawers, and boxes. Some have been there for decades, passed down from parents to children, completely unaware of the treasure they held. And now, maybe, one of those coins is yours to discover. To make it even more astonishing, professional grading can amplify its value. A coin in pristine condition, authenticated and graded by experts, can reach astronomical prices at auction. And when a collector spots one of these, it's not just money, it's history, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a story you could tell for generations. But even if you don't find a perfect example, just knowing the signs gives you the power to search. The date, the missing mint mark, the condition, these are your keys. Examine every 1990 penny you come across. Look at it under light, inspect it carefully, and if it's flawless with no mint mark, you might just be holding $1 million coin. Literally. A coin that, when sold to the right collector, could change everything. Think about it. What are the odds? Among millions of pennies minted, a handful survived this anomaly. And surviving decades, tucked away in a drawer, jar, or forgotten wallet, waiting for someone perceptive enough to notice. The suspense, the potential, the sheer thrill of discovery is almost overwhelming. And every coin you examine brings you closer to that life-changing moment. Collectors who have found one describe the experience as surreal. They speak of sleepless nights, calls from auction houses, the anticipation of the final bid. Some coins have sold for prices that could fund a luxurious life, retirement, or dreams that seemed impossible before. And all of it started with a tiny, unassuming penny. This is why every coin you handle matters. You never know when an ordinary day, sorting through pocket change, could turn into an extraordinary event. The 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that treasures can be hiding where you least expect them. It's a testament to patience, observation, and the thrill of the hunt. And above all, it's proof that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest value. So, the next time you dig into that old coin jar, examine each penny closely. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. Study the details, the condition, the subtle cues that separate an ordinary coin from a life-changing discovery. Because among those pennies, history might be waiting for you. The 1994 mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just any penny. At first glance, it looks like the coins you've been passing to cashiers for decades. But one tiny detail, a mint mark barely noticeable to the untrained eye, could make this penny worth $1.70 million. Most people think pennies are worthless. They roll their eyes when they see them in a jar, tossing them aside without a second thought. But the truth is, one single penny can carry the weight of history and fortune. And the 1994 penny has a story that almost no one knows. It begins in the mid-1990s, when the U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies. Among those ordinary coins, a handful were made with an unusual die error. These errors were subtle, almost invisible. But they created a coin that collectors today would literally pay millions for. Imagine discovering that the coins you've been ignoring for years could hold this secret. The coin's rarity isn't just in the year or the mint mark. It's in a combination of small errors and its survival in near-perfect condition. Over the years, only a few of these pennies have surfaced, and every one has made headlines. Some have sold at auctions for $1.2 million, others have reached astonishing figures, $1.7 million. Each sale seems impossible, almost like a fairy tale. But it's real, and the opportunity is still out there. So, how do you spot this penny? First, look for the small D mint mark under Lincoln's bust on the coin's obverse. It's tiny, but its placement is key. Next, examine the details on Lincoln's shoulder and the lettering on the back. These pennies were struck with slight die anomalies, small but telling markers that distinguish them from ordinary coins. The edges, the spacing of the letters, even the tiniest bumps or doubling can be a sign you're holding a treasure. Many collectors will tell you to check for shine and condition. That's because this penny's value skyrockets when it's in mint or near mint state. Even the slightest wear can reduce its worth by hundreds of thousands. So if you stumble upon one, handle it with care. Every scratch, every fingerprint could cost you millions. Now imagine the excitement, the thrill of uncovering this coin. You might be sitting at your kitchen table, sifting through loose change, when your hand brushes against a cold, coppery penny. Your eyes catch the faint, familiar D, and something in your gut tells you this isn't ordinary. You lean closer, heart racing, and the reality hits. You may have just found $1 million coin. Stories of lucky collectors are everywhere. One woman found a 1994 mint mark penny tucked inside a forgotten coin jar. She didn't even realize what she had until she brought it to an expert. That single discovery changed her life, turning decades of loose change into a fortune that would have taken most people years to earn. That's the power of a coin that carries both rarity and history in its tiny form. Even more astonishing, the 1994 penny isn't just valuable for collectors, it's an investment. In the world of rare coins, it's considered a blue-chip treasure. Its scarcity, combined with consistent demand, makes it almost guaranteed to retain and increase its value. One day, a coin like this could be the key to your financial freedom, the kind that leaves people staring in disbelief. And the best part? It's still out there. Forgotten in jars, hidden in drawers, perhaps in a pocket or tucked between old coins in a piggy bank. Every ordinary coin pile has the potential to hide this extraordinary treasure. You might already have one without knowing it. The difference between ordinary and life-changing is just one careful glance, one moment of attention to detail. The story of the 1994 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just numbers and letters. It's about hope, patience, and the excitement of discovery. It's proof that incredible fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. You don't need to be wealthy, or a professional collector, just observant, curious, and willing to look closely at what others overlook. So the next time you empty your pocket change, don't rush. Examine each coin. Feel its weight, look at its edges, notice the mint mark. That one penny you almost ignored could be worth millions. And when you find it, the world of coin collecting opens up in a way that most can only dream of. But how did a seemingly ordinary penny from 2014 become one of the most sought-after coins in the United States? The story begins with a quiet, almost unnoticed error during production at the Denver Mint. Only a handful of these pennies carry this unusual mark, making them extraordinarily rare. While millions of Lincoln pennies were minted that year, only a tiny fraction were struck with the error that transforms them from common to priceless. Collectors describe finding one as a surreal experience, a heart-stopping moment when the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Some have reported discovering these pennies in jars, drawers, even beneath furniture, completely unaware of the fortune they held. Imagine the thrill of realizing the coin you just picked up at the grocery store could be worth $1 million. So what makes this 2014 D penny so special? It's all in the details. The key lies in the mint mark itself, a small D near the bottom right of the coin. But not all D marks are created equal. On this rare penny, the mint mark is slightly misplaced and doubled, an imperfection that only a few collectors in the world have ever seen. Hold the coin under a bright light and study it carefully. Look for subtle anomalies, doubled edges, slight shifts in the lettering, tiny cracks near the rim. These are the clues that could signal you're holding a true treasure. Some experts warn that spotting this penny requires patience and a keen eye. Many people discard coins without realizing their hidden value. One man recounted how he almost threw away a small stack of pennies, only to discover later that one of them was a 2014 D-era coin worth millions. That split-second decision, that simple moment of curiosity, made him a millionaire overnight. But it's not just the money. Collectors often describe an emotional connection to these coins, a sense of wonder, the feeling of holding a piece of history that almost no one else possesses. Every curve, every tiny imperfection tells a story that begins in a minting machine but ends in the hands of someone who recognizes its true worth. And while the price tag is staggering, it's the thrill of discovery that drives collectors to hunt tirelessly through jars, drawers, and rolls of pennies. Even if you're new to coin collecting, learning to identify a 2014 D penny is possible. Start with a magnifying glass. Examine the mint mark closely and compare it to a standard penny from 2014. Check for inconsistencies in spacing and depth. Inspect the edges for small anomalies that shouldn't exist. Every detail matters. And remember, patience is key. This coin is rare for a reason. It wasn't meant to be found easily. The market for these coins is intense. Stories of sales reaching $1.8 million make headlines, and each sale only increases the allure of this penny. Collectors share photos online, trade tips, and debate over the tiniest differences in markings. Owning one is more than wealth, it's prestige, a badge of honor in the coin collecting world. And while millions of ordinary pennies circulate every year, only a few have the potential to deliver life-changing value. Imagine the suspense of flipping through a roll of pennies and spotting one that doesn't look quite right. Your heart races, your palms sweat. Could it be the one? The 2014 D Lincoln penny with a hidden error that transforms it from a simple coin into $1 million treasure? That single moment of recognition is why collectors never give up. Every coin you pass by could be hiding unimaginable wealth. And it's not only about spotting the coin, it's about understanding its rarity. The fewer there are, the higher the value. Each misprint, each subtle difference, amplifies the coin's worth exponentially. Some collectors have spent decades hunting for just one, understanding that the odds are low but the payoff could be astronomical. After all, when a coin sells for over $1 million, it's not just a coin, it's a story, a fortune, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity rolled into one small piece of metal. So the next time you reach for a penny, don't dismiss it. Look closely. Examine the mint mark. Study the edges. Pay attention to details that most people would overlook. Because among the ordinary change in your pocket or wallet, a rare 2014 D penny could be hiding, waiting for someone with the patience and insight to discover it. And the reward? Not just fame in the coin collecting world, but the staggering possibility of a life-changing fortune. But right now, somewhere in the United States, someone is holding a 1981 D Lincoln penny that could change their life forever. A single penny, hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for its discovery. The story of this penny begins in 1981, when millions of Lincoln cents were minted in Denver. Most of them were ordinary, passing through countless hands without much thought. But a tiny, almost invisible error occurred on a select few coins. Something so subtle, so rare, that it would make them worth a fortune decades later. These pennies are now considered some of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever released. And if you know what to look for, you could spot one in your own collection. What makes this coin so special is a small mint mark anomaly. On certain 1981 D pennies, the D from the Denver Mint appears doubled, slightly shifted, or unusually thick. It's not easy to notice unless you're looking carefully, and that's what makes it a collector's dream. Experts have reported these coins selling for as much as $1.1 million in pristine condition. Yes, a single penny, worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime. You might be wondering, how could such an ordinary coin become so valuable? It's a combination of history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin has a story, and this one traveled quietly through wallets, cash registers, and pockets for decades, completely unnoticed. Its true value remained hidden, waiting for the right person to recognize it. And when that person does, the result is nothing short of extraordinary. To identify this penny, you need to pay attention to the smallest details. First, check the mint mark. Look closely at the letter D on the reverse side of the coin. On the rare, valuable pennies, the D appears doubled or slightly off-center, compared to a normal 1981 D penny. Even under magnification, most coins look identical, but the subtle differences reveal the secret. Next, examine the coin's overall condition. Coins in mint state, with crisp edges and a clean surface, are the ones that fetch the highest prices. The better the condition, the closer you are to holding a potential $1 million treasure in your hands. Collectors often describe the feeling of discovering one of these pennies as indescribable. Imagine knowing that something you've been casually saving for decades could suddenly transform into a fortune. The emotional impact is powerful: excitement, disbelief, and joy all rolled into one moment. People have reported that seeing one of these coins for the first time felt like finding a hidden key to unimaginable wealth. But it's not just about money. There's a deeper story here, a story of patience, observation, and knowing the value of small things. This coin represents the thrill of discovery, the excitement of uncovering something rare in a world where most treasures remain hidden. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny imperfection tells a story of its journey through time. And that's what makes it more than just a coin, it's a piece of history. Even seasoned collectors admit that the rarity of the 1981 D Lincoln penny catches them off guard. Most people have no idea that a coin they casually handed over at the store could be worth a fortune. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most extraordinary things are hiding in the most ordinary places. This penny proves that even the smallest objects can hold unimaginable value. Now, let's go back to identifying the coin. Besides the mint mark, examine the fields of the coin, the flat areas around Lincoln's bust. Look for any anomalies, such as doubling or unusual lines that appear almost accidental. The combination of a unique mint mark and a perfect surface is what elevates the penny from ordinary to potentially worth $1 million. And once you spot it, the rest is history waiting to be written. History has shown that these pennies don't stay hidden forever. They appear in collections, estate sales, and even loose change. Some lucky individuals have stumbled upon them entirely by accident, transforming their lives overnight. And now, you have the knowledge to recognize this secret for yourself. Imagine opening a drawer, casually sifting through coins, and suddenly realizing that a single penny could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Collectors often say there's nothing quite like the moment of discovery. It's a combination of awe and disbelief, a feeling that can't be replicated by anything else. And with the 1981 D. Lincoln penny, that moment could be closer than you think. Its rarity, its history, and its staggering market value make it a coin that demands attention and rewards those who are willing to look carefully. So, take a deep breath, slow down, and examine your coins. Look closely at the mint mark, study the details, and imagine the journey of a coin that has survived decades, passing through countless hands until it reaches yours. The thrill of uncovering a hidden treasure is timeless, and the 1981 D. Lincoln penny is the ultimate prize. This isn't just a story about money. It's a story about discovery, patience, and the joy of uncovering something extraordinary in the everyday. The excitement of realizing that a simple penny could hold the key to $1 million fortune is unlike anything else. And for those who take the time to look, the reward is real, both financially and emotionally. But to the few who know, this tiny copper disc could be the key to a life-changing fortune, over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1994 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, can fetch more than $1 million. And it might be hiding in plain sight, in your pocket, your drawer, or tucked away in a forgotten jar. The story of this penny begins in 1994, a year when most Americans never gave a second thought to the coins in their wallets. Lincoln pennies were everywhere. But one subtle difference set this penny apart: the missing mint mark. While most pennies proudly display a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, the rare 1994 no mint mark coin appears, mysteriously, with nothing. No letter. No clue. Just a plain, unassuming coin. And that missing mark is the key to millions. Collectors have been stunned to find this coin in circulation. Some discovered it in change at a grocery store. Others found it in rolls of pennies from the bank. And every time it appears, it ignites a frenzy. Why? Because its rarity is off the charts. The U.S. Mint only produced an extremely small number of these no mint mark pennies before realizing the error. Each one is a 1 in a million chance, a hidden gem that could turn a mundane collection into a fortune. The emotional thrill of holding this penny in your hand is unlike anything else. Imagine realizing that something you thought was worth a penny could be worth over $1 million. Your pulse quickens, your heart races, and for a moment, the world seems to stop. And yet, this is real. Documented sales confirm it. Collectors have paid astonishing sums for this exact coin. Some pieces have traded hands for well over $1 million in pristine condition. Now, you might be wondering, how can you identify one of these rare treasures? First, examine the date carefully, 1994. Next, look closely at the mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. If the letter D is missing entirely, congratulations, you may be holding a rare find. But be careful, there are counterfeits, so authenticity is critical. Check the coin's weight and color. Genuine 1994 pennies have a specific copper composition and subtle design details. Professionals recommend submitting it to a trusted grading service for verification. Every tiny detail counts. Even the smallest features can make or break a coin's value. Slight imperfections, a flawless strike, or the slightest evidence of wear can determine whether your coin is worth hundreds or millions. And this is where patience and attention to detail pay off. Many collectors spend years learning to spot these subtleties, but the payoff can be life-changing. What makes this penny truly captivating is its mysterious journey. Nobody knows exactly how many exist. Some coins may have slipped into circulation unnoticed, exchanged in everyday transactions, or stashed away in forgotten jars. Others may never be found. That uncertainty, that thrill of the hunt, is what drives collectors to scour every roll of pennies, every coin jar, and every dusty drawer. Every time one of these coins surfaces, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic community. News spreads fast. A 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has appeared, and it's worth more than $1 million. Suddenly, ordinary people become witnesses to history, holding a piece of the past in their hands. And for those who find one, life can change overnight. But this is more than just a story about money. It's a story about discovery, about patience, and about believing that extraordinary opportunities can hide in the most ordinary places. It's a reminder that sometimes, what seems worthless may be priceless. The thrill of uncovering a rare coin is a feeling few can describe, a mix of awe, disbelief, and pure joy.so. The next time you find a penny, don't dismiss it. Examine it. Study it. Look for details others overlook. Check the date. Check the mint mark. One small decision, a second glance, could reveal a hidden treasure that changes everything. Because in the world of rare coins, the extraordinary is always hiding behind the ordinary, waiting for someone curious, someone patient, someone lucky enough to see it.